Welcome to Live at 5:55 with Joseph. Hope you had an awesome day today and you're just living by your gratitudes and your blessings. So, quick question for you. Would you say a majority of your life that you're living in dis-ease or you're living at ease? And let me explain the difference between what I mean by that. Is when we live in fear, doubt, and worry, which a lot of people are trapped into fear, doubt, and worry these days with everything going on in our world, that there's a downward spiral that happens through there where our anxiety levels rise up, where we start to experience procrastination in the things that we want to do. Maybe even just everyday life, we start feeling a procrastination in that. And it leads down to dis-ease. The feeling of dis-ease in your life, and then eventually dis-ease within your body. And so many people are living in that spiral right now. And it's nobody's fault that where people get trapped into that, because it's all based on our patterns and our paradigms. It's all based on our past conditioning and all of that. But there's another way. You have another choice. You can live a life you can live by your faith. You can live in a well-being. You can live at ease in your life. And it's not as hard as some people think to shift from one to the other, but it takes conscious choices. It takes conscious actions in order to make that shift. So people that live at ease are the people who experience seeing opportunities and potentials showing up in their life that somebody living by fear, doubt, and worry don't necessarily see. They're still available to them, but they don't see them because they're dealing with the muck of that. And then we get into that fear, doubt, and worry, and it wants to pull us down into it. You know, so often people that will look at, I talk to people and they'll say, you know, when things like that happen, they look at the worst case scenario. What's the worst case scenario that could happen? And that is such a low energy, low vibration place to come from, because all you're doing is accentuating what it could be. You know, all you're doing is taking that fear, doubt, and worry and expanding it. So no wonder, you know, people get even worse off once they follow a process like that. When we get into that other side, when we get into knowledge base, and I'll say that all of that dis-ease comes from a place of ignorance. And by ignorance, I mean a lack of understanding, a lack of knowledge. When we come from that other side, we come from a place of knowledge. We come from a place of understanding better the options that we have available to us. We come with an understanding of the power in which we are, the power in who you are, how powerful you really are in your life. It comes from that place of being able to look at opportunities and go, I don't know how the hell I'm going to do that, but I want to do that. And leading into that and letting that lead to the next action, next action, next action. And then instead of on this side where we're experiencing procrastination in that downward spiral to disease, we start feeling acceleration. We start feeling like we're getting even more output from the same level of inputs as far as the actions we're taking. And it's producing so much more and leads to the body at ease. It leads to your mind at ease. It leads to living your everyday life more by your design. So after my dad passed away, you know, I've spoken quite a bit about like my mom and dad early on in my youth, early in their marriage, is they struggled financially for years, decades in their life. Later on in their life, they were able to put together a savings and things like that in retirement and such. So when they got to retirement age, they had some funds available and they were more financially wealthy back when they retired. And after my dad passed, my mom ended up going into an assisted living center. And she would call me. Like I was in Iowa, she's in Arizona, and she'd call me and in the middle of the night, and I'd go, oh my God, and I'd think something was wrong. So I'd grab my phone and I go, hello? And she goes, hi, what are you doing? And I go, I'm sleeping. She goes, oh, what time is it? I go like 2:30, 3 o'clock, 3:30, whatever time it was in the morning. And she would just start hysterically laughing. She's going, oh my God, I laid down to take a nap. I must have slept longer than I thought. And she'd be laughing. I'm like, oh my God, I thought something was wrong, you know? And she'd go, well, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I go, no, bullshit. You don't get to call me up in the middle of the night and then just hang up on me because it's not in your timing. So she'd laugh. And then we would talk, and she would go into talking about her worries that even though she was financially stable, she would worry about running out of money. She would worry about one of my brothers or my sisters or one of her grandchildren, or, she would always go to worry. And I'm not knocking my mom. I'm saying that was her conditioning, is to live by worry. If everything's going smooth, something's got to be wrong. That type of mentality. And I could walk her through that. And I could walk her through looking at, how a majority, almost every single worry she had never came to fruition. And that's a tool that you can use. Instead of that worst case scenario, that low energy or low vibration tone, get into the place of how many of your worries actually come into play in your life. Hardly any of them. And especially for somebody living by that fear, doubt, and worry. Hardly any of those will come to fruition. And I'm telling you, you can make such amazing leaps in your life and how you get to experience this life. But it takes some effort on your part. It takes some actions on your part in order to do that. But there is so much available to you. People that live at that at-ease state see opportunities and potentials that show up in their life on a regular basis. The person living by fear, doubt, and worry has the same things showing up. It just gets shadowed or buried, covered over with the fears, the doubts, and the worries, and the anxieties, and all of that. So I'm telling you, my whole passion is to help you to take any areas that you're living in that dis-ease side and shift that to living at ease, to living by the greatest you that you can live by living by your desires for your life. And I offer you a 45 to 60 minute strategy session where we can jump on the phone and we can talk about what are those sticking points for you. And then we can talk about what that other side looks like for you. And you can get some tools right away to start moving in that direction in your life. All you have to do is leave a comment, reach out in Messenger and get a hold of me and let me know you're interested, and I'll compliment you on. And that's leading into today is the final day at midnight tonight. The Abundance Mindset Masterclass, all the material will be pulled. It will no longer be available. So whether you registered and you attended the masterclass, if you registered, didn't attend, or if you didn't register, you still have time that you can capture this powerful information for your life. But at midnight tonight, the whole thing is pulled. So I put a link in here you can click on, register, get access, watch the masterclasses, and also download your free workbook. Now, let me just say this. I pour into these masterclasses. I take all of my teachings and the best points of it and pull it together into helping you create a better tomorrow for your life, for your family, for your children, so that you can help them do the same in their life and overcome those struggles that could be in for generation after generation after generation repeating themselves. You can be that person that breaks that for them. I can bring all this information to you. I can pour into it. I can spend money to advertise to make sure it gets in front of you. I can do all of this. But it's all nil if you don't take an action on your part. And the last thing I'll leave you with this is, how do you know if there's not a piece of information in that masterclass that could literally change your life and change all the lives around you? So again, remember, whether we're living through dis-ease or at ease, it's not our fault, but it is our choice.